Gajjananam Bhotaganadi Savitam Kapita Jambo Palasara Bhakshasham Umasutam Chakavina Chakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Parapankajam Charananam Kumkumaraktavanam Mahamatim Divyamayoravanam Rudrasya Sunam Sorasanyanadam Goaham Sadaham Charanam Prapadye. Full response. Gajananam Bhotaganadi Sevitam Gajananam Bhotaganadi Sevitam Kapita Jambo Palasara Bhakshitam Kapita Jambo Palasara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shokavina Shakaranam Umasutam Shokavina Shakaranam Namami Vigneshvara Parapankajam Namami Vigneshvara Parapankajam Sharananam Kumkumaraktavanam Sharananam Kumkumaraktavanam Mahamatim Divyamayaravahanam Mahamatim Divyamayaravahanam Rudrasya Sunam Sorasanyanatam Rudrasya Sunam Sorasanyanatam Goham Sadaham Sharanam Prabhadye Goham Sadaham Sharanam Prabhadye Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, bow your head. Offer your practice today to someone you love. Human being, animal being, or nature being. Bring them into your mind's eye, visualize them. Dedicate any happiness you gain from your practice to them. Namaste. Welcome, everyone. So last week we were talking about the role of the teacher, and this week the role of the student through the eyes of Krishnamacharya lineage. So prick up your ears. The first task of the student, obviously, is to decide whether or not to seek out and then accept a teacher. Already, if you do, a process of self-study is engaged. There are many people who cannot bring themselves to such acceptance. Not many will immediately be filled with the faith that Mala, for example, placed in my father, Krishnamacharya. For them, teaching will be found in reading texts, meeting well-informed masters and the like. For the student who is capable of engaging in a more profound relationship, it helps to begin with listening to the teacher, perhaps reading his or her works, or attending a class or two. The student should carefully consider the personality and the approach. Is the teacher too severe or too soft? Or, as I've described these qualities earlier, too Brahmana or Langana? So firstly, traditionally in India, one would, if one could, find the teacher and study exclusively with that teacher. And a teacher can be there for a lifetime. But in our modern world, in the West, this is very rare thing to find such a teacher. So Mala, who was one of Krishnamacharya's students, she went to Krishnamacharya, she immediately clicked with Krishnamacharya, and she studied with him for the rest of his life. Same with my teacher, Srivatsa Ramaswamy. If you ask him what he thinks about any other style of yoga, he will say, I have absolutely no idea. I had got everything I ever needed from my teacher, Krishnamacharya. And in my life, if I lived to be 100 years old and studied with him all that time, I would never have learned a quarter of what he had to teach. And so if you find a teacher like that, maybe you don't need another teacher. But I posed this question to Ramaswamy. He's the teacher, that's Krishnamacharya there, and Ramaswamy is my teacher on the left. And I said to him, at that time I was practicing predominantly, I mean, I've practiced in lots of different traditions, but I was teaching mainly Jiva Mukti at that time when I first started studying with Krishnamacharya. And I said to him, you know, the thing is, I don't really do this, teach this. I teach Jiva Mukti yoga, which is a different style of vinyasa, but I'm really like a lot of the elements of this Vinyasa Krama. I think they're helpful and I'm incorporating them. And I think it's a benefit to my students and myself. And I thought he would say, oh, but that's not the system. That's not the way Vinyasa Krama is taught. But he said exactly the opposite. He said, that's great. Just use the teachings are there to be used in whatever way they suit the individual and whatever way the teacher decides they're appropriate for the student. And so Vinyasa Krama isn't a system. It's not a rigid system. It's a system which can be interpreted in many ways. And so I said, well, you only ever had one teacher. You just live with Krishnamacharya or study with Krishnamacharya. And he said, well, Krishnamacharya is more than enough for one person. But in the West, can you find a Krishnamacharya? No, I've never found one. I've been looking for a long, long time. And so he said, the thing you need to do is you need to find different teachers to teach you different things. So you might need to find a teacher to teach you Sanskrit, and a teacher whose asana practice you like, a teacher to teach you philosophy, a teacher to teach you selfless service, karma yoga. Maybe you need to go to someone else to learn to meditate. You know, maybe that's something you're particularly interested in. Maybe you need to go to another teacher who can help you incorporate the teachings of yoga with environmental issues or animal rights or human rights, whatever your kind of tendency is. You might need to find a specific teacher to do that, which might mean that you need a range of teachers throughout your yogic journey. Does that make sense? And then we have this idea in the West that when we do that kind of thing, when we move from teacher to teacher or school to school, it's like we're betraying someone, you know, like we're cheating on someone. And that's not what it is. So if you were to study with me and then you wanted to learn something different and you found that that was something that somebody else was offering and you wanted to study with them, that's all one teacher. You know what I'm saying? The guru is one, because the knowledge that comes through the teacher doesn't belong to the teacher. It belongs to God, the higher source, the guru, the para guru, the great guru. Okay? So if you look above this altar here, you can just see some of the teachers that I've studied with. Not all by a long way. I've studied with, I haven't ever counted up how many people I've studied with. But they're not, from the point of the way I look at it is I look at them and I see one teacher, just in different forms. And that's the way you should look at that aspect of being a student in your own journey. Don't be limited by a teacher. Learn what you can from a teacher, and when you need to move on and evolve, then you should move. It doesn't mean that you're betraying that teacher. You just always honor them and give thanks for what they taught you. It's about respect. But when you do go to a new teacher, if they're not exactly what you're expecting, you still do what the teacher asks. out of respect for the lineage and the teacher. Some of you will know what I mean by that. Okay, I'll read a little bit more. So he's saying here, the student should carefully consider the personality and approach. So you have to find a teacher that resonates with you, and shop around till you do. And like, a teacher can be too harsh for you. Some personalities, they need a teacher who's quite gentle and can really nurture them. Some personalities need a teacher who's a bit tougher on them because they're lazy, or they're easily distracted, or they kind of like aren't very disciplined. And the teacher has to kind of like encourage them in the nicest possible way, but by being strict. That might be necessary for you. Maybe you find someone who's somewhere in the middle and that works for you. But the teacher could also be too Brahmana or Lagana, which he just described. And a Brahmana teacher is someone who's effusive. And they would give you, overload you with masses of information when you aren't really ready. It's like they just can't stop themselves. And so you'd be confused. This can be a problem with me, I think. And then the other side of teacher is a Langana creature, which means, as opposed to expansive, it means they're contracted. And I've come across a lot of these teachers in India. It's like, you've got to pay them to get the next bit of information. You know, you've got to beg them for the next bit of information. You've got to beg them for the next yoga pose. It's like, they're not going to give away the secrets freely. And those sort of teachers, for some students, they're correct. But for some students, they're really frustrating. So that's the other kind of teacher you might find. The student must accept the teachings as taught. That's what I was saying earlier. Whatever you're doing, you just go with the teaching. When you've understood and you know what the teaching is or what the practice is, then you can change the practice and the teaching to suit your requirements, but not until you've learned it first. I'm not talking about mindless absorption of another's thoughts and ideas as one's own. That is of no value because there is no comprehension based on experience, no living what is taught, which is the important thing, of course. With proper respect and humility, a student should be able to raise any question. I was able to ask my father anything, provided I raised the question with respect and he was in a suitable mood. Also, to accept, we're all human. This is what he's trying to say. It's like, as teachers, we're all human. Like, sometimes we're going to respond well, and sometimes, for whatever reason, maybe, you've had a really hard day in the rain, freezing cold, pruning trees, and all you want to do is sit by the fire. And that day you might not get quite the response that you were hoping for, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay, because you have to also realize that the teacher is just a person like you. The sort of teachers we have in the West, there aren't enlightened teachers around us. They're just normal people. And so you have to be also a little bit of give and take and acceptance of the limitations of your teacher. As I was also able to, provided I raised the right question and he was in a suitable mood. Also, to accept teaching does not necessarily mean to agree with it. This is important. I don't want you to agree with what I say or what any other school or teacher says. In yoga, you have to question, but you still learn the practice. You do the practice. And then within that, you question everything that you feel you need to question. Long gone are those days where the teacher ruled. The guru was the master and everybody obeyed the guru. That gets people into deep trouble. You have to question everything. Don't ever take what the guru says, what the teacher says for granted. Use your own mind. I don't agree with everything my father taught. And Krishnamacharya disagreed with the teachings of some of the greatest authorities in the history of yoga. So Krishnamacharya was an innovator. He didn't just take the ancient teachings and carry them forward in such a way that they were respectful to the original text. He changed what needed to be changed, and he used what was practical for householder yogis, and he used what is practical for more modern times. It was relative. He took it out and he binned it. And one of the most famous texts on yoga is a book called the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is a book on Hatha Yoga. It's a medieval text written by Yoga Swapmarama. And it's a revered text, and you'll study it on, if you do a teacher training, you'll probably study that from that book. If you sort of like, I've taught workshops and things on the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. It's kind of like a very famous book. And most of modern Hatha Yoga is based in some way on that book. Krishnamacharya didn't like that book. He criticized that book. He said, this book is not an original text. This book is a compilation of texts, all kind of like jumbled together and put into what looks like a cohesive whole, but it misses out really important things, and it misses out really important things and includes really questionable and unhelpful things. I haven't got time here to go into what they were, but it's another whole subject. But a lot of people weren't really happy with Krishnamacharya doing that. But that was Krishnamacharya. He wanted to make it practical. Whether it was a spiritual practice or a physical practice, he wanted to make it work for people. Okay, well, I mean, this is quite a long section. I'm not going to read all of it. But it's kind of like not just saying, be a good student, practice every day. It's kind of like he's asking you to really think about the situation you're in as a yoga student and what you are trying to get from the practice, what yoga means to you. That's what's important. And there's a teacher that I'm very fond of, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. His name is Michael Stone. He's a yogi, but a Buddhist yoga teacher and a writer. And he translates the word yoga not as union, but as intimacy. And the thing I feel that we should, because I'm just a yoga student like you, I think that the thing that we should think about as yoga students is intimacy. So how does intimacy manifest in our yoga? Firstly, it manifests in breath, becoming really, really intimate with the way you breathe. And in Vinyasa Krama, because there's so much variation in the way you breathe, it's very difficult to breathe without awareness. So that awareness gives you intimacy with your breath. When you have intimacy with your breath, it gives you intimacy with your body. That gives you intimacy with the yoga pose, with the asana. So you do the asana with feeling. Not about what you're trying to achieve in the asana, but what do I feel? How am I feeling this in my body? And the thing that's happening in my body, how's that affecting my breath? And the thing that's happening in my breath, how's that affecting my body? And then what is happening with the breath and the body, how's that affecting my mind? That's intimacy. A deep intimacy with your own mind, body, breath. That is the foundation of yoga. I don't care whether you're studying philosophy, whether you're a bhakti yoga and you're into devotion, or whether you're a jnana yoga and you're into scripture. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Those things are the foundation of every yoga practice. Which is why asana comes early on in the limbs with the yamas and yamas. So if all you need to do is you need to get really intimate with those things, the way you breathe, the way you move, your steadiness and intimacy with the asana and the posture, and then being conscious of the way what you're doing is affecting your mind. If you just do those simple things and get really intimate with that, then everything else you want to do in yoga will just come to you. It will just come. And when you do get that intimacy in your yoga practice, you can then carry that intimacy into your life. And then it becomes yoga. You become a yogi. That intimacy gives you an intimacy with your whole existence, moment to moment to moment to moment. And that means that you live more compassionately in the world. You don't go around causing so much harm. And you feel a deeper relationship with everything around you, the natural world, your friends, your family, your fellow yogis, everything. Because that intimacy starts to become the default setting of your being. And that is what yoga is. Does that make sense? Namaste. Come to the center of your mat, stand in Tadasana. Turn the infrareds off, please. And stagger yourselves a little on your mat. Feet together. If possible, big toes touching heels slightly apart, or the feet can be parallel, a little bit apart. Lift the shoulders and bring the shoulder blades down the back. Move the arm bones back so the chest is lifted. Lengthen through the back of the neck and then draw the head slightly back and the chin slightly down. And gaze into your heart center, just in front of the spine at the level of the heart. Begin gentle Ujjayi breathing, little the throat. As it moves out. Connect to that breath. As you inhale, raise your arms overhead and flip your palms. And pause. Begin the exhale, lower the arms on the breath. The exhale, feel. Exhale, raise the arms. Pause at the top and lift through your rib cage. Begin the exhale, lower the arms. Arms forward, down. Inhale, raise the arms. Keep the chin to the heart, stretch. Fairly simple, but exhale, forward now. Pause at the top, stretch through the back of the lungs, stretch through the shoulders. Begin the exhale, lower the arms. Good. Utkatasana, Ardha, half Utkatasana. Inhale, arms shoulder level. Chin down, look navel this time. Keep the feet together and knees together if you can. Exhale, squat halfway down. Chin down, look navel. Don't look up. Inhale, stand up, arms shoulder level. Exhale, go down halfway. stay. Inhale, arms wide like wings. Exhale, arms forward, flip the palms. Chin down, look navel. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, arms forward, flip the palms. Inhale, stand up, arch back a little bit at the top. Exhale, fold all the way. Hands to the shins or the floor. Good. Flip the palms, inhale all the way up. Chin down, arch back a little bit at the top. Exhale, fold all the way down. Take hold of the big toes or the legs. Exhale, fold, let the head go heavy. Eyes open, look gently at your nose tip. Eyes closed, look into your navel. 3 breaths, long exhales. Optional at the end of the exhale, short bandha. Don't pull yourself down. Just let the length of the exhale and the pause at the end of the breath release tension in your body. Pulling causes stress. You want to relax. Good. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms widen overhead, flip your palms. Exhale, fold all the way. Separate your feet hip distance. Bring your hands around the backs of your legs from the outside. Thread them through the legs and see if you can hold the opposite shin. And then inhale and look up, or just bring your arms round and hold whatever you can. Hold the opposite leg might be enough. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, fold. Push the legs into the arms and the arms into the legs. And put them round the back through your legs, keeping the hands through the legs. This won't be for everyone. And then on an exhale, draw the leg through the head and look up past your buttocks. Or just move towards them. And then release the hands, flip the palms. Inhale, come up, arch gently back. And exhale, tada. Inhale up. Feet together this time. Exhale, fold all the way. And bring our feet with the toes wrists. And in the wrists if you can. Bend the knees if you need to. You might just be able to get the fingertips under your toes, but if you can put the whole palm under the toes, do it. And then transfer, inhale and look up, and transfer the weight as you fold forward into the toes and the hands. Elbows wide, relax the neck, long exhales. Relax the neck. Palms in, arch back a little bit at the top. And when you're ready, exhale slowly, Tadasana. Look heart, take a breath. Turn to the right, stand in Tadasana. Inhale, raise your arms shoulder level. Come to the middle of your mat. Exhale. You want to be in the middle of your mat. Hop or step your feet apart. Stance. Longer than the length of one of your legs. Good. Arm, shoulder, warrior two. Exhale, bend the front knee, bring the forearm on the thigh, palm facing up, bring the top arm over beside your ear. If you're comfortable with it, the hand can go to the floor, not the knee. And then inhale, come up, Trikonasana Sthiti, between the arms, shoulder level. Same side, exhale, arm thigh, top arm up and over. Up, go down. Hand to the floor or forearm to the knee. Take your pose. Look straight ahead at the side wall, not up. Keep the neck neutral. 3 breaths. And inhale, float up, arm shoulder level. Keep the feet where they are. Straighten the front leg now. Exhale, bend the front knee again. Thigh, arm over. Strong back leg, control the lower abdomen, tuck the tail. Inhale, bottom, palms together, prayer over your head. And then extend from the spine through your pelvis and into your back heel. And if you're comfortable there, lower your torso down onto your knee. Bend the front knee well. Keep the top shoulder up and open. Hands in prayer. 3 breaths. And then inhale, come up. You can keep upright. Turn the feet 30 degrees, bring the hands to the waist, take a breath. And then inhale, raise the arms, turn the left foot out and the right foot in. You can do the same thing on the other side. Exhale, bend the front knee. Top arm over, just look straight ahead at the side wall. Hand can go to the floor or the knee. Your stance, do that 2 more times. Makes your stance easier. Your stance is, Eric, you need to be longer. See, if your back leg isn't straight, you've got all the weight in the front, it's harder. Actually, you'd be better off with a longer stance. And then hold for 3 breaths. Normal inhales, long exhales. Shoulder down. Connect it to your back foot. And then push your knee forward a bit more. Front knee. Yeah. Good. When you're ready, inhale, come up. Heel. I want to make sure I'm stuck. Exhale, bend the head. And just get to a point where you can breathe there. You don't have to go down too low. But if you're comfortable, go down as low as you can towards the thigh, keeping the back leg straight. A little more challenging. And then the next vinyasa in this, for those of you, if you would raise the back leg and just balance on the front. Not doing that. And then inhale, come up. Arms can be over the head, and then exhale, Trikonasana Sthiti. Arms shoulder level, feet 30 degrees. Good. Inhale, arch back, turn the palms up. And exhale, hips back, fold forward. Good. Take hold of the heels or the big toes or the legs, whatever you can reach. Hold the heels from the outside, Mandy, and then inhale, look up. And exhale, go down. Don't overextend. Whatever you, if your legs are really wide and you feel you're at your limit, come in a bit. Overstretch here. It's more important to lengthen the spine, hamstrings. Fingers. Towards the shoulder blades go towards the ceiling. The sit bones lift. The lower abdomen sucks in and up, and the top of the head extends towards the floor. And if the head's on the floor, tuck your chin in and bring the back of your head to the floor. But don't change way. Your feet, shoulders right into a squat. Down and prayer. Chest. Just one block. You're okay. You need one under each heel like that. So you can just push down and get your chest up. Okay. Lift your chest up. Chest up. Okay. And then exhale. Fold forward and drop your upper arms in front of your shins. Reach round behind you and hold your ears. No, not your ears, your heels. That's it. Yeah. Hold your heels. And if you're really comfortable there, you can sweep the hands behind your back and clasp the hands behind your back. And then inhale and exhale, fold forward, bring the forehead towards the floor. Kurmasana. Do what you can. Oh, not that way, that way. Okay, and then inhale, come up. And exhale, hands over your heart in prayer. Hands to the floor. Inhale, straighten your legs. You're in slow feet. And then exhale, fold into the legs. And on the inhale, slowly roll your spine up. Head comes up last, turn to face front. If you find, turn to face the front, stand in Tadasana. So if you find squatting a challenging thing, it's really something you should be trying to do every day. Doing the squatting poses, if you're really struggling with that kind of movement, then it's easier to do it with the feet apart at the beginning. So when we do the Utkatasana variations and we do it like this, that's all very good. It helps and it also makes you a lot stronger. But for flexibility, if you do it like this with the feet apart and go down, you get more movement in it's a different rotation in your hips. So it's good to combine the two things. And if you just raise your heels on a block to make it accessible to go all the way down, it's a really good thing to do. And the way we often do it, like Ramaswamy will do it, just step back a minute. The way we'd often do it with Ramaswamy is like he would get us to start like this, arms straight, and we'd do it in pairs, and we'd just go squat down. And you're just pulling on each other gently. Arms should be straight, really. And so you've got something to pull against, and then on the inhale, you stand up. And then you bring the feet in a bit, go back a bit, and you exhale and go down. And you could be doing this holding onto a cupboard or something, but not a drawer. And then inhale, come up. And then that feet parallel. And exhale, go down. Yeah, you'll feel it in your knees if you've got any. And then you just keep going until your feet are together. So if you do that movement from that to that to that to that, holding on to something or with a partner, it's a good way of gradually developing that freedom of movement in your hips. Makes it much easier to go to the toilet in India. Inhale. That's a dad joke. It's getting old. Okay, and exhale. Inhale, arms over the head, flip the palms. And exhale, palms forward. Inhale, arch back. And exhale, fold forward. Short inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana, squat down. Short inhale. Hold the breath. Hop or step back, Chaturanga. Knees can be down. Inhale, upward facing dog, chin down. Pause. Exhale, downward facing dog, chin down, 3 breaths. Spread shoulders and out 3. You're doing as long as the in. There's a little momentary pause or bandhas, optional. Bandhas means perineum lifts, lower abdomen goes in and up, breath is suspended, and the chin moves towards the chest. In that moment of suspension, the mind stops. When you've done your 3 breaths, flow forward to plank pose. And lower to the floor. Bring your hands back beside your hips when you get there. Turn the head to one side, take rest. Let go of the Ujjayi breathing now. Okay, inhale, bring both arms over your head. Palms to the floor. So the classical way of doing this, the proper way of doing this is you sweep the arms along the floor so they just hover off the floor till they're over your head, but you need the space to do that. Make sure there's no stuff in your way. If there is, just move it. And then inhale, bend the right knee and hold the right foot, ankle or foot with the right hand. Exhale. Inhale. Arm, right leg, right arm, chest and head. Look forward if you can. Exhale down. Top arm straight. Inhale up. Keep the left leg down. Exhale down. Inhale, bring the left hand behind you and hold the foot with both hands. If you can't do any of these other variations, continue with the first one. That's fine. Inhale, come up. The arms are taut like the string of a bow. It's bow pose. Exhale, go down. Just holding one foot, Alison. Just hold with the left hand and bring the right hand over your head. And on the inhale, lift up. Good. Exhale down. We're just doing 2 vinyasas. Inhale, come up. And just pause this time and hold. Hold the breath in. Exhale down. Release the foot. Inhale. Exhale, turn the head to the side, the other side. I'll bend the left knee, hold the left ankle or foot. Try to keep the legs so they would be together. Don't let the knees go out wide, especially if you're more flexible. Forehead on the floor, inhale, lift up. Head and chest up, arm up, if you can. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. How high you're coming up is irrelevant. You just breathe and you do the movement. Then inhale, bring the right hand behind you, hold the foot with both hands. And exhale. Then inhale, come up, holding the foot with both hands if you can. Push the foot into the hands to lift the chest and let the heart fall open. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, left hand in front of you on the floor. In, diagonally across the back. Push the right foot down. You can. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Both hands beside the hips. Release the leg. Turn the head to the side, take a breath. I can see you really enjoyed that. Inhale, low cobra. And exhale, seat to the heels, long back. Stretch out your back and pause there for a breath if you need to. Forehead on the floor. And then when you're ready, come to down dog. And then inhale, come to plank pose. And again, exhale, lower very slowly towards the floor. And now we do full Dhanurasana. Bend both knees, hold the ankles with both hands. And if you can't reach both feet, turn onto your back and do it from the floor in a bridge variation. Exhale. Good, Tony. Arms are straight like the strings of a bow. They're not bent. Forehead on the floor, exhale. Pramana Kriya. Inhale, come up. Chest up, head up, nose tip, arms straight. Exhale down. Exhale, don't move. Pause. Little inhale there. Exhale, come down. Now you choose what works best for you, coming up on an exhale or an inhale. Come up in your own time. Hold for 3 breaths. Eyes closed, but look nasagra, nose tip. That's it. So the feet are pressed like the string of a bow. Ready. Hands under the shoulders, low cobra. Exhale, seat to the heels, long back. Stay there for a couple of breaths. Interlock the fingers. Inhale, sit up. Bring the arms over the head with the chin down. Exhale, hands forward, cup the knees with the palms. Look hard. Eyes closed. Ujjayi breathing. Two. Now twist to the right. Inhale, come to center, lift up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale. The right is that way. Everybody come to the center, inhale. We're just going to the right. Exhale, twist to the right. Otherwise, it's going to get confusing. Hold the breath out. Bring the left hand down to the outside of the right knee. Sweep the right hand behind you and put it across your top thigh or around your back or on the floor, whatever works. And inhale, lift your chest. Then exhale, twist your torso and your spine. Look at the furthest point of the room you can see. And then keep the body twisted to the right. And as you inhale, turn the head to the left and look. Don't tip the head too much. Then inhale, up through the spine. Lift your chest. And as you exhale, twist the body to keep the gaze to the left. 2 more breaths with long exhales. Into breath and feeling in the body. No struggle, no strain, no judgment. And then inhale, sweep the arms overhead, flip your palms. Separate the palms, exhale, fold. Flip the palms, inhale, come up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Take the same hand variations you did on the other side. 3 breaths. On the inhale, turn your head and look at your right knee. Then take 3 breaths. You can pause for band. But try to feel that spiraling movement in your spine. The lower part of the spine is twisting to the right, and then as it comes up through your thoracic and there's a twisting to the right. And you can assist that with the breath. You lengthen a little bit on the inhale and go right to the end of the exhale so there's no tension, stress in the mind or the body. The posture will just happen by itself. It's a definition of asana. Stira sukham asanam. Steady, comfortable, joyful. Inhale, come to center, flip the arms over your head. Separate the palms, exhale, fold forward. Just relax there, take a breath. Turn the toes under, downward facing dog. Walk into your heels a little bit if you need to get a bit of circulation back in your legs. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, slow. Use your lower body. Look, everybody come back to plank pose. I saw a lot of people, as you started to lower, your knees just bent, your legs just packed up. You've got to keep driving into your heels, keep your legs really active, and keep your lower abdomen engaged as you lower. As always, all the weight will be in. Keep the legs active, keep the lower abdomen in, the tailbone tucked towards the pubic bone, and just bend your arms by pushing the weight back into your heels. Come back to plank pose. Do it 20 times. And then in lower the plank pose. And if you can't do that, then you've got to have your knees on the floor. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Shoulders down, chest forward, chin down, stretch the cervical spine, exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, spread the fingers, Tony, and exhale. Soften the knees, hop or step forward, Utkatasana, squat down. And inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold deeply, Uttanasana. Flip the palms, inhale all the way up. And exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, bend the right knee to the chest, foot to the inner thigh, or half lotus. Exhale, prayer over the heart. Vriksasana, tree pose. Look at the floor, something that won't move. Optional, hands over the head in prayer. One Gayatri. Vaha tat savito varanyam bhago devasya dhimahi diyo yonat prachodayata. Om, prayer to the heart. Inhale, knee forward, extend the leg, engage the quadricep, hips back. Exhale, place the foot on the floor. Do the other side. Don't put the foot in your knee joint. Above it or below it is fine. Make sure there's lift in the quadricep of the standing leg. Inhale, knee forward, extend the leg. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms wide and overhead, flip your palms. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana. Just make it as effortless as you can now. Inhale, back of the heart. Hold the breath. Hop or step back, chaturanga or knees down. If you're struggling, chaturanga, bring your knees down or you get fine. And inhale, upward face. And the fine is that you have to lead the Gajananam in the next class. And bend the knees, hop or step forward. Sit down, Dandasana, legs straight, hands beside the hips. And then Paschimottanasana. Inhale, arms overhead, flip your palms. Exhale, fold forward. Need a block, sit on a block. Make sure you can get your pelvis rotating forward. Inhale, arms overhead, flip your palms. Lift a little more, chin down, exhale, fold. Take the big toes, outsides of the feet, or hands over the tops of the feet, or interlock the fingers and bring the backs of the hands to the soles of the feet. You choose. Round the back. Head slightly tucked in, chin in, look navel. Inhale for 3, exhale for 6, all numbers. Inhale for 4, 8, or 5, 10, whatever's comfortable. Optional at the end of the breath, bandhas. Very important. And when you're, that there's no tension in your face. Throat, tongue, palate. Eyes relax, forehead relax. Otherwise, bandhas shouldn't be happening because it would make you very stressed. Bandhas are really an extension of complete relaxation and a sense of intimacy with the pose. If you haven't got that, you just want to do long exhales and feel the end of the breath. Eventually, the bandha action will come as part of that long exhalation. It's not forced. Arms and inhale, come up. Stretch up. And exhale, fold forward again and take a different hand position this time. If you're comfortable with the forward bend and you're happy there, you can bring your hands behind you in Pristanjali reverse prayer and go down. But come up to do that. Come up to vertical. Bring your hands into reverse prayer. Lift and open your chest and fold. And then round your back a little bit and do that. Only do that if you're really comfortable in the pose. Just stay in the basic posture. Hold your feet or your legs. Where is the gaze? Nadi, navel. The eyes are closed, but the gaze is at the navel. Mamasthana. Inhale, come up. Keep the hands in prayer. If they're in prayer, arch back, look up. Exhale, hands behind you, 10 inches. Keep the legs straight or bend the knees if you need to for tabletop counter pose. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift the, that's it, the body, lift it up. And exhale, come down. Strong Ujjayi. I can sense you're getting a bit tired. You've got to breathe. Inhale, come up. Maybe just exhale, go down. Okay, and we'll do you. If that's enough for you, you can just do that now and hold it for 3 breaths. So I'm going to give you a variation. Inhale, come up. If you're comfortable there, roll onto the outside of your left foot, stretch the right arm up and come into side plank from inclined plane. Keep the legs straight. You can only do it if your legs are straight. Otherwise, you're holding for 3 breaths. Top arm straight up, Charlotte. And then exhale, bring the hand back down behind you. Come back into inclined plane. And then switch to the right side. Turn the foot out first and then lift the top arm up. This is not easy, so don't do this unless you're really comfortable in it. And exhale, come back into inclined plane without going down. Good. Then inhale, push the hips up. And exhale, bring everybody now, bring the buttocks to the floor, keep the hands behind you. Chin to the chest, chest up. On an inhale, raise both legs, supported Navasana. Keep the hands behind you where they are. Press the hands into the floor and push your chest open. Legs straight if you can, at eye level, toes. Or knees bent. Don't bring the feet too high. Try to keep them eye level. Gaze at the toes. If you're comfortable there, find your balance and extend both arms forwards towards your feet. Keep the gaze at the toes. Try to keep the chest out of the water, boat pose. And then arms and legs, body and legs. And then inhale, exhale, lower until you're just hovering off the floor with your back and your legs. So then inhale and exhale, come down. Bring your feet a little bit apart, the arms away from your body, and take rest. I was trying to wake you up here. So just a little Shavasana here, arms away from the body, palms up, and feet apart. Let go of the Ujjayi breathing, relax. When you feel your breath has returned to normal and not before, I'll give you some options. You can come into half shoulder stand or full shoulder stand for 5 breaths. Or you can come into headstand for 5 breaths. You can bring your legs up the wall for 5. Or you can have your seat raised on some blocks with your legs vertical for 5 breaths. If you need to ask someone to move so you can have the wall space, then just do that. Take your choice. And when you're ready, come up. If you'd rather just rest, feel free. Don't count the breaths until you are completely settled in the posture. Oh, works much better. Eyes, your upper palate, your tongue, your throat. Look down into the back of your throat. Relax and breathe. Longer exhale. You count 5 breaths. You're on 3. And then make your way into plow or child's pose. In plow, just take a breath there, a full inhale and exhale. And slowly come down. If you're in headstand, you can stay a couple more breaths if you want. Keep your feet together, Sophie, and your heels apart. So your femurs rotate in. Yeah. That controls your rib cage. More there. That's better. That's a bit too much. Right there. There. Now you're straight. And then when you're down, fish pose. If you're coming out of shoulder stand. Child's pose if you're coming out of headstand. Release your hands to the floor. Make a bridge of your hands. Lots of little breaths. Lots of little breaths. Lots of little breaths. Come down. Up, away from the body for fish pose. Like that. And under the body as much as you can. And then the chest comes up and the head goes back. A little bit of weight in the head, but most of it in your arms. Push your chest up. Sorry, bring your chest up and breathe high into the top of your rib cage. One more breath. One more. And then push into the elbows, release your neck. Come down. And relax in Shavasana. Feet wider than your hips, arms away from your body, palms facing up. If your chin is sort of sticking up, head, a cushion or block, and completely relax. Always one. Completely relax. Let go of the deep breathing. Let your body breathe. Just relax that breath. Conscious for a moment of what you're thinking. And then let go of that thought. And bring your awareness down through your body and into your feet. Relax your feet. Toes, heels, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, hips. Let your legs go heavy. Relax the lower back, upper back, all your spinal muscles. Just let your spine settle into alignment. Intestines and stomach. Relax your heart. Relax your left lung. Relax your right lung. And then just relax your breath. Relax your fingers and your thumbs, the palms of your hands. The relaxation flow up through your arms and into your neck. And relax your throat. The whole inside of your mouth. Your tongue goes loose. And relax your gums and your teeth. And relax your lips and your jaw. Relax the cheeks and all the muscles around your eyes. Let your upper palate drop. Relax the eyelids, temples, forehead. Relax the scalp and the ears. Relax the nose. Relax the whole physical body and all your facial muscles. Relax your mind. Relax the mind, you drop the thoughts into the heart. And you just hold awareness in the heart. The mind relax. Just be aware in the heart space where the breath begins and where the breath returns. Become intimate with that place, the cave of Brahman, and completely relax. Om. Deepen your breath. Feet together, arms by your side. Inhale, stretch your arms over your head. Left side, both sides. Make your way into a seated posture for pranayama. Kneeling, cross-legged, but supported, so you're Kapalabhati one round. If you're not familiar with Kapalabhati, just bring the arms over the head in the hand movement and do smooth Ujjayi breathing with long exhales. Inhale, bring the arms over the head and flip your palms. And then just release the grip a bit and change the interlock of your fingers. And inhale, lift up. So the chest lifts, the rib cage opens, and bring the chin slightly down towards the sternum. Close the eyes and look into the navel, the center of the body in line with the top belly button. Keep the gaze there. Take a short inhale. Begin. Hex, 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 exhale completely. As you inhale, push your hands to the ceiling. Try to keep that length in your spine, the openness in your chest as you exhale and lower your arms. Take a couple of breaths. As you exhale, drop your awareness down into your pelvic floor. Right into the center of the pelvic floor, perineum. Slow, smooth, quiet inhale. Draw the energy back into your spinal channel, up through your spine. Turn it into the center of your head in line with your eyebrows. Exhale down. Trace the curvature of your spine with the prana, with the breath. Inhale up. Pause a little bit at the top as the breath turns. Exhale down. Tuck it under. Feel just a little bit of tone in the pelvic floor. Inhale up. Smooth, quiet breath. The breath is silent. Exhale down. And try to feel that the energy, try to feel it moving in your spine. Keep doing that. Inhale up. And if you're not feeling anything in your spine, that's fine. It might take time. But what you are feeling is the little bit of tone at the end of the inhale and the end of the exhale as the breath turns. It's not really a pause, it's just a change of movement. There's absolutely no effort, and the face and upper palate, soft palate, eyes are completely relaxed. I'm going to add mantra to that. So as the breath comes up, mentally repeat so. And as the breath goes down, hum. When it comes up, it's so. Down, hum. Inhale, so. Exhale, hum. Keep the breath long and just let the silent mantra fit the breath. It's actually the sound of your breath. For the next few breaths, just stop saying the mantra to yourself and listen to the Soham mantra in the breath itself. So you become conscious of the slight difference between the inhale and the exhale. And that difference is the mantra Soham. Remember there are little pauses where the breath turns and the mantra turns. It's very subtle. The next time the breath comes up, just let it rest in the third eye, center of your skull, in line with your eyebrows. And begin to repeat the mantra Om, which is the mantra Soham when the prana is still. And just listen for the mantra, which is the vibration of your own mind and your own body. And visualize a soft white light like a full moon glowing inside your skull. And meditate on the moon with the mantra Om. And let go of the mantra and just rest for a few moments in complete silence, spaciousness, stillness. And then exhale the prana back into your heart. Ground yourself back into your body. And begin to slowly deepen your breath. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Inhale deeply for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Guru Sakarus Bhagavan ki jai. Remind yourself the intention made for your practice. I'm going to close once again with Krishnamacharya's poem because it really relates to what we've been talking about. O sleepy mind, praise Lord Krishna, remember the God of knowledge, pray to the teacher. For when the body becomes weak and depleted, your education will not save you. Knowing for sure that all objects you come into contact with are impermanent, do not get lost in them. Instead, again and again, resolve to be aware of the eternal self. Where is the conflict when the truth is known? Where is the disease when the mind is clear? Where is death when your breath is controlled? Therefore, surrender to yoga. Man desires objects when tender in age, enjoys them when young, seeks yoga when middle-aged, and develops detachment when old. One who is deeply absorbed in God and with a firm mind salutes him with all his heart, receives everything he desires, and the Lord smilingly asks, what more do you need? Regular yoga practice steadies the mind. Regular chanting develops initiative and intelligence. Unwavering meditation results in extraordinary benefits. And the repetition of mantra helps in self-realization. Speak the truth that is pleasant. See everyone in the light of friendship. Remove the body of its toxins and acquire the best of education, humility, and wealth. Regulate the breath. Be happy and link the mind with the Lord in your heart. So reveals Yogi Tirumali Krishnamacharya as a message for humanity. Namaste. Everyone okay? No question. What is the difference between a student and a yoga teacher? So it's not a joke. What is the difference between a student and a yoga teacher? There's no difference. The teacher has to remain the perpetual student, and the student is a teacher, a student of yoga who, even if they don't teach yoga, by the example of their lives and the energy they hold around them, teaches others. And the yoga student teaches the teacher. So I learn from you. It isn't just about you learning from me. I learn from my teacher. He learned from his teacher. He learned from his teacher. I share what I can share with you. You may share it with others. We learn together. We're all students together. Krishnamacharya lived to be 100 years old and was a yogi all his life. And he only ever called himself a teacher, a student. Other people called him an acharya. Other people called him a guru. He always said, I'm just a student. And he was. He kept studying till the end of his life. That's our role, all of us. There's no real difference. I don't have any special knowledge. I'm just a student like you. I study and I practice yoga, and you study and practice yoga. Together, we might make the world a slightly better place. That's the idea. Namaste. Thank you so much. Oh, we have a satsang on Sunday. I'm sure most of you know this by now. And it's a slightly different time now. It's 5